I think I'm gonna just clip this and put it on YouTube, you know what I mean? Because what else am I supposed to do? Anyway, amongst other things that happen in GQuuuuuuX, one of like the thing that all the all heads are like complaining about is mostly about how they've emasculated Char as a character. And I'm gonna be honest. Who do you think Char is? Okay, most people have this perception that Char is like this fucking Giga Chat or whatever. Why the fuck did I say Giga Chat? Anyway, most people have this perception of Char that he's like this badass pilot who's like undefeatable. He's the Red Comet. I mean, he's the Red Comet. How is it that he's portrayed in all these timelines and he just keeps dying and bruh? Do we watch the same show? Cause I gotta tell you, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Char was never that good of a pilot. Most of the time, luck saved his ass. Like actually, he was a very lucky pilot. Most of his achievements is just him deadass being lucky as shit. Most people think of Char as his badass pilot, and when you compare him to like a regular dude, you know, regular pilot, yeah, he's gonna kick ass. And even when you compare it to some ace pilot, he's gonna be like top dog. You know what I mean? There's a reason why he got that nickname, and why a lot of people are really scared of him or like really revere him. That's fair point. But the thing is, every time there's someone on his skill level or slightly better, he shits the bed every single time. Now I'll prove this to you, okay? I'll prove this to you. Exhibit A. So in the original Gundam series, we first got introduced to Char as his badass pilot because he kicked Amuro's ass, you know, and Amuro's our main character. That makes sense. Of course he's gonna kick Amuro's ass. Amuro's been in the Gundam for like what, max 2-3 days? It's the equivalent of like me full boxing a kid in Fortnite. Actually, now I think about it, there might have been more kids who full boxed me in Fortnite, but whatever, you know. Like Amuro's a newbie. He's an experienced pilot. Of course he's gonna kick his ass. They won't have another proper fight until they go back to Earth. I mean, do you count the Garma fight as they're fighting? It's more like chaos, right? He fought Amuro there. Again, Amuro got his ass kicked. Then he went to Jaburo, and Amuro's already like somewhat decent at this point. Amuro held up against his own, you know? He's aight. He's doing aight. So Char was like, still. And then we get to the point that caused this whole, I guess, debate in the first place to start, you know? The Gelgoog versus the Gundam with Lala. This is like where the space-time continuum like fucking exploded and the timeline split and shit. So it is shown in GQuuuuuuX that in almost all timeline, Char dies in this. Char dies in this fight, and Lala lives. But in the main timeline, Lala saved his ass, and he survives. Is that luck? Kinda, but you know, it's Lala sacrifices herself, but he was saved. And then we've got Exhibit B. Not long after this fight, Char went to Zeong, and then he was like, yo, my Gelgoog got broken, you know what I mean? So, you guys got a couple spares or anything? So they gave him the most powerful, at the time, most powerful mobile suit they have around, the Zeong. I mean, shit looked kind of whack, if you think about it, like, why does this war machine look like Queen Elizabeth? Why does this war machine look like the Queen of England? With no legs. Anyway, he took this very, weirdly proportioned, mobile suit, kicked everyone's ass, obviously. But then, Amuro appears, and he fought Amuro, and keep in mind, Amuro is already way past the normal bounds of the Gundam. He's already, like, breaking it. He's the equivalent of putting Max Verstappen in, like, a Honda Civic. Anyway, Amuro fought Char in the Zeong, and then Amuro actually shot him down. And here's a motherfucking thing, right? This is where the luck starts. The one time Amuro landed a kill shot on Char, a straight kill shot on him, Char survives. And you wanna know why? He happens to be in the only one mobile suit in the entirety of the war to have his cockpit be in an unconventional spot, in the head. All the other mobile suits, and I'm talking about mobile suits, right? Not mobile armors. Just mobile suits in general. In the 1 year war, Char chose the one where the cockpit is in the head. So what would be a normal kill shot didn't kill him. He survived. Okay, Exhibit C. Exhibit C, we've got the entirety of the Grips conflict, or the Grips war. Zeta Gundam, basically. You see, in Zeta Gundam, right, in the time period that Zeta Gundam is set, everyone's mobile suit had some sort of gimmick. Like, they could transform, the motherfuckers got a mega particle cannon as like a secondary. Some are just huge and have both of those capabilities. And Char, with his overinflated ego, because he thought that it was all scale, bro, it was all scale, it was all me. He decides to pilot, basically, a faster but worse version of the Gundam. But it's gold now. The Hyakushiki has a gold plating on it, and that gold plating is supposed to be like a anti-beam coating, you know what I mean? It's supposed to protect it from beam weapons. To an extent, okay? To an extent. Because you see, the Hyakushiki has a loadout of no shield, a beam rifle, 2 beam sabers, and a bazooka maybe on occasion, depending on the mood, you know what I mean? Not even the Delta Gundam, the prototype that never existed for this thing, by the way. Not even the Delta Gundam was that ballsy. The Delta Gundam has a shield on top of the gold beam coating. But Char was like, nah, I'm gonna go commando. Because even every single variant of the Hyakushiki or the Delta Gundam, all of them followed the principle of, if I'm not carrying a shield, I'm just carrying more guns. If I'm gonna be carrying a shield, then a little bit less gun, for agility and shit, you know what I mean? But not Char. And you know what? It worked for him for a bit. Because in the Grips War, most of the people he's fighting are chumps. Most of the original ace pilots from the 1 year war are either dead or retired. So most of the time he's fighting ace pilots that probably have about like 1 or 2 years worth of experience. He's got like, you know, at least a decade worth of experience on his belt, you know what I mean? So fighting those Titans pilots and some of the Zeong pilots, easy. You know, he was quick scoping them. It was nothing. But then he met people who are on his skill level, and again, he shits the bed. Point being, he fought Haman Khan. Or Haman Karn. He fought Haman, and it went about as well as you expect. Because again, he's in a basically faster but less armored Gundam. Haman is in a brand new mobile suit that's faster and has like at least, I don't know, like 20 different funnels. She has that. He has a gold Gundam with no shield. Try to tackle her close range, I did not. But once again, saved by luck. Because, oh, would you look at this? A conveniently placed explosive. I couldn't remember it that well. It wasn't like a gas tank or some sort of thing that he shot at, and the whole ship that they were inside of explodes. And he survived this, by the way. Haman survived. Makes sense. Her mobile suit was intact. You know, that ship was supposed to take that kind of explosive anyway. The whole fucking ship exploded. How do you survive that? Exhibit D. This is where his ego got too big and he ran out of luck. So the premise of Char's counterattack was that Char basically missed Amuro, right? That's his boyfriend. Not really.
How good?
How you want to interpret that? Fucking up to you, bro. I ain't your police. He wanted to send a message to the Earth people. It's like, hey bro, you ruined the Earth too much. I'm sending this asteroid. Let's start back from scratch. So he got the Sazabi. And the Sazabi is no slouch of a machine. It's a very capable mobile suit. But because Char's know that... fuck! But because Char knows that the Federation is being a bit of a cheapskate, because who would have guessed constant war from the last 20 years would have bankrupted you? Who would have thought? Stupid ass bitch. Char knows that the Federation ain't willing to spend that much money on mobile suits, especially just going into researching them. So you know this motherfucker did? He was like, yo, my biggest rival, my biggest op, Amuro, does not have a machine that could be on par with me. Let me leak the technology! He helped develop the new Gundam so that Amuro got like a machine that could fight him. Problem is, in the opening scenes of Char's counterattack, we see Amuro piloting the Rigazi. And the Rigazi is like the worst version of the Zeta Gundam. The Zeta Gundam is famous for being the not first transformable, but it could transform, right? It's a Gundam that could transform back and forth from jet to robot. So what did the mass production version of the Zeta Gundam did? This couldn't transform. It had a backpack. Basically, the Rigazi, once it ditches the backpack, it became a slightly better Jagan. And Amuro managed to not just survive, but actually do some damage. Like, he was holding up on his own. And the only reason he kind of lost that fight was because he got two-timed. Char's protege was right there, kind of putting pressure on him. The moment he got the new Gundam, shit got real quick. Giving Amuro the new Gundam was the equivalent of finally giving Charles Leclerc a good car. And also not be in Ferrari, but you know. How did the fight turn out against Char? Again, about as well as his fight went with Cubile. Because like, you know how big your ego gotta be to be like, yo, this guy who's my rival, who's been constantly kicking my ass for the last, like, what, 12 years? This guy has been kicking my ass constantly for the last 12 years. Every time I got a new mobile suit, he kicks my ass. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna give him something that's just like mine, to even the playing field. Brother, you couldn't even win when he got the shittier mobile suit. Now you gave him something equal, he's gonna wipe the floor with you. And he did. So now with those examples I've shown you, those alternate timelines shown in GQuuuuuuX start to sound a bit more reasonable, right? It's like, oh yeah, he actually lost a bunch. And the only reason he survived that long in the main timeline is because of luck. So now let's examine why he lost, basically, in GQuuuuuuX, right? So you have Goof. You have the Goof. That's one of the alternate timelines shown. When you got the Goof, yeah, he's losing. The Zeta explodes before even going to combat. Yeah, the Big Ro, yeah, still lost. A lot of these mobile suits, understandable why he lost, you know what I mean? The Big Zam, not his style, gonna lose. Yeah, the Galbaldi Alpha, that's just a slightly better Gelgook. He's still losing. What I don't fucking understand is how the fuck that he lost in a Sazabi! If you didn't know, in that scene where when Shuji showed all these alternate realities that Char lost, one of it had an alternative design for the Sazabi. Now, based on context, it seems that all of this, like, alternate timelines seems to be alternate timelines of the 1 year war, and each time Char lost to the Gundam. Obviously, the whole point was the Gundam, you know, the RX-78, the granddaddy. Now, how the fuck did he lost in a Sazabi to the Gundam? Because again, all these other mobile suits, perfectly acceptable, you know. You could have seen that, you know, losing to the Gundam makes perfect sense. How the fuck did you lose to the Gundam in the Sazabi? Because for context, the Sazabi is not a mobile suit that is developed in the 1 year war. The Sazabi is a mobile suit that is developed in UC0093 in the mainline universe, in the main timeline, right? Now I don't know how, like, what kind of timeline that was that Lala made, but I don't know if the 1 year war is capable, like, unless we're talking about the 1 year war literally starting super fucking late, which doesn't make sense. So you mean to tell me Lala, through her new type magic powers, managed to summon a mobile suit that wouldn't be produced until about 12 years later, and somehow brought that shit back from the future and give it to Char in UC0079, and he still lost to the Gundam? And you want to tell me, oh, Char's a good pilot, by the way. You fucking lost in a Sazabi. The granddaddy only has a beam rifle, a shield, 2 beam sabers, a bazooka sometimes maybe. Yeah, like how the fuck did you lose to and you see why in the main timeline I say he's saved by luck? Because when luck is not on his side, not even a mobile suit from the future could actually win him a fight against Amuro. Which means Amuro is just that guy. And the only way he could have won, besides from being saved by luck, is for one, to actually have the Gundam to himself, and two, Amuro doesn't exist or Amuro's just chilling, living his life. Because what? How? How the fuck did you lose Aura? You've lost a good 50 plus years of Aura in one show, because that show decided to show how fucking lucky you are. But now we see how much of a fraud Char Aznable truly is. Welcome to my TED Talk, and have a nice day. Subscribe to the YouTube and follow Twitch.